It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know for this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, Israel. You probably know by now that 6 Israeli hostages, including 1 American citizen, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, were found by the IDF in tunnels underneath the Gaza Strip over the weekend. The 6 had been assassinated, shot multiple times by Hamas, less than 48 hours before they were found by IDF soldiers. Clearly, Hamas knew that the IDF troops were closing in on their position, and rather than move the hostages to a new location, they just executed them. They've been returned home. Making things even more gruesome, Hamas took video of the 6 recording their final messages to their families and released them on a Hamas Telegram channel. The family of one of the hostages has authorized the release of that video clip to the world. This is repugnant. The reaction of the Western world to this is completely tone deaf and does not recognize the reality of the situation on the ground there. In the United States, the Biden administration increasing pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, to reach a ceasefire deal. As Netanyahu put it in a response video that he released, this essentially is telling Hamas, execute more hostages and we will give you more concessions. That's exactly the message that Hamas is receiving. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom's Foreign Minister David Lammy, I was confusing him with the former Foreign Minister James Cleverly. David Lammy announced that Britain is revoking the weapons export licenses for a number of arms that the UK has been supplying to Israel. Again, the message to Hamas is kill more hostages, get more concessions from Israel's Western allies. There is a report in the Jewish Chronicle that Hamas is no longer able to release the remaining living hostages, that of the 105 who are still unaccounted for in Gaza, and 35 of whom are believed to be dead already, Hamas may only be in control of 20 or 22. And according to intelligence sources cited by the Jewish Chronicle, those remaining hostages in Hamas control are being handcuffed and kept as human shields literally around the position of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, who's not been seen above ground since last October. He's using the 24 or so remaining hostages in Hamas control as literal human shields. Now, the other 80 or so, assuming they're all still alive, are in the control of smaller terror groups in the Gaza Strip, and not all of them are taking orders from Yahya Sinwar. So this pressure, including the massive protest on the streets in Tel Aviv, the protest in New York City following the assassination of those 6 hostages, completely not recognizing the situation, demanding that Netanyahu reach a ceasefire agreement as though Netanyahu can compel Hamas to release the hostages. But again, according to intelligence sources, it does not appear that Hamas could release the remaining living hostages, even if they wanted to, because they don't control most of them. And some of the other terror groups in Gaza are absolutely refusing to reach any sort of conciliation, any sort of a deal with Israel. Topic number 4, Venezuela. Apparently, Denver and surrounding environs are under the control of Venezuelan gangs now. A viral video that's been circulating on the web the last few days shows an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, with armed members of the Venezuelan gang, the vicious gang Tren Aragua, just walking nonchalantly, brandishing their weapons through the apartment complex. According to sources in Aurora, Colorado, apartments that are owned by out-of-state property managers are being targeted, and the people living in those apartment complexes are being terrorized and forced to pay the rent to the gang instead of to their landlords. Meanwhile, in nearby Denver, a sanctuary city, we should note, Venezuelan gang members have reportedly taken control of public spaces where homeless people have set up encampments and are now charging rent to the homeless to allow them to stay there unmolested. Now, we should also note that Venezuela is one of 5 nations that the Biden-Harris administration has granted special immigration permissions to, allowing them to bypass the normal channels to be allowed to stay in the country. Initially, Colorado's Governor Jared Polis dismissed the incident, calling it a product of imagination, despite the video. However, Polis apparently later remembered that it's an election year. And he went on CNN to say, we're taking this very seriously. If the people alleging these events have more evidence, please bring it forward. Polis, we should also note, has been very vocal in his opposition to Trump's border wall, calling it a boondoggle and a huge waste of taxpayer money. Let's compare, shall we? $8 billion for a border wall versus $150 billion in immigrant benefits per year. Well, the wall looks like a pretty good bargain, actually. Topic number 3, Kamala's Green New Deal. She said the quiet part out loud in that interview with CNN's Dana Bash last Thursday. The so-called Inflation Reduction Act was actually a backdoor to allow in the Green New Deal. Now, if you're not familiar, the Green New Deal is a wildly unpopular concept that's based on UN-related climate directives on carbon emissions that would, if enforced, essentially destroy the U.S. economy in a decade or less. The European Union has been imposing it on farmers there, farming in Europe, the UK. It's now a regulatory nightmare that if those regulations were imposed here would bankrupt most American farmers. But to socialists like Kamala Harris, that's a feature, not a bug, because it allows then the government to step in and fix the problem that the government itself created. Now, on Thursday, during her interview with Dana Bash, she said, quote, "You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it's an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time." Deadlines around time. That's word salad, but I digress. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. That's the money quote. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act, end quote. Again, the quiet part out loud. The Inflation Reduction Act, like most legislation passed by Congress, does exactly the opposite of what the title suggests. And in this case, it was a Trojan horse to sneak through the early stages of the Green New Deal, allowing government to then step in and say, oh, prices are going up. We have the solution. Price controls. Oh, prices are going up even further? Okay, we'll take over the means of production. It's socialism, and it's coming. Just faster if she gets elected. Topic number 2, trust the science. Did you know that Lucky Charms are healthier than cheese, beef, and eggs? The science, trademark, says so. Tufts University, using several $1 million in taxpayer money from the National Institutes of Health, just released a study where they say, no joke, that beef, cheese, and eggs are less healthy than Lucky Charms and Honey Nut Cheerios. We had a doctor back in Illinois who told me years ago that Cheerios, even plain Cheerios, in terms of the glycemic impact on your body, is like eating a candy bar for breakfast. I thought he was nuts. Hey, it's low fat, it must be good, right? Well, if you've watched this program for the last 9.5 years, you will notice that I have dropped from about 240 pounds to about 182. And it's not because I'm unhealthy, and I guarantee it's not because I exercise. Most of my exercise is typing. It's basically eating more protein and fewer sugars and simple carbs. But this is why people don't trust the science trademark anymore, or just one more reason anyway. Protein, bad. Low fat, sugars, good. No. Don't trust this science. Coming up, also, don't try to beat the bank. It never ends well. That's next on 5 and 10.
We want to make sure you know how you can get your copy of this incredible new work in the Carl Gallup's Ultra Collection. When you order this amazing collection from the skywatchtvstore.com, you'll receive the brand new book, Eyes to See, Is Our World Ready for the Coming Visitation by the legendary Pastor Carl Gallups, where for the first time ever, you'll discover what the Israel link truly is and the gravitous prophetic significance it holds in the times we're living in right now. You will learn about the real-life supernatural encounter that will open your eyes to see the spiritual realm like never before. Eyes to See will make certain you are spiritually ready for the coming visitation. And it uncovers massive treasures of astonishing insight previously hidden in Scripture and revealed specifically for our day. You'll also receive the amazing books The Summoning, Preparing for the Coming Days of Noah, and Glimpses of Glory by Pastor Carl Gallups that take you from the Garden of Eden to Jesus' glorious return, and a cosmic collision of biblical truth that explodes to life upon the tapestry of the mind and soul. For a very limited time while supplies last, you'll also receive the Summoning Companion DVD. Join Pastor Carl Gallups for this incredible, exclusive two-part sermon. From living without fear in the midst of our prophetic age, to the questions surrounding what Jesus is telling his people through the prophecy of the fig tree and the return of Israel. This companion DVD is a must-have. These items hold a retail value of $85. Yours now for your donation of only $40, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Carl Gallups Ultra Collection.
Item number one today, you might have seen this floating around the web, a viral trend supposedly that showed Chase Bank had a glitch in its ATM system that allowed you to write a check for money you didn't have and then withdraw it immediately. It's a glitch. Free money from Chase Bank. This young man, just one of the many influencers on TikTok, he's riding around with a buddy, leaning out the window of his car, showing off all the free cash he's got from Chase Manhattan Bank. Well, that's how it started. Here's how it's going now. Gentleman on the left there, $11,000 in the hole in his account. The guy on the right, $31,000 in the hole on his account. Yeah, you were able to write a fraudulent check, deposit it at an ATM, and then withdraw the money immediately. It wasn't free money. It's what's called check fraud. And if you already caught on to that, then you understand how things are now going for those who thought they were getting free money from Chase. No, they're now in massive debt, some of them perhaps facing prosecution. Just remember, if you read it online and it seems too good to be true, it probably is. This week in Skywatch TV, Pastor Carl Gallups returns. He's got a brand new book called Eyes to See, and boy, I'll tell you what, this is like all of Carl's stuff, just absolutely eye-opening. Don't miss these programs, and don't miss this special offer on Carl's great book, The Summoning, Glimpses of Glory, and much more. First program is out right now. You can watch it at our website, skywatchtv.com. Over the air, our broadcast schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, you can also catch it right now on a set-top box if you've got Roku or Apple TV. Check it out there. You can watch it over the internet, youtube.com/skywatchtelevision, at skywatchtelevision, that is, rumble.com/skywatchtv, or get our free mobile app. This brings the content right into your smartphone or tablet, along with other features like an audio Bible with multiple translations, a link to our streaming video site so you can watch, for example, Void Earth, the new Defender Investigative Films documentary, using your Skywatch TV app to cast the video from the right from your smartphone or tablet to your smart TV, and much more. It's available for iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. We have links to their app stores at our website. You'll find it at skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 online, YouTube at 5 in 10, X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.